We're on.
Okay, welcome everyone to the village board meeting, 7 o'clock Monday, January 13th, 2025. Well, the roll call of officers,
Excuse me, Pete Anzia, Roseanne Guide, Sarah Heisler, Chris Pleer, Rose Sowers, Kevin Schuler, and Dan Wolf.
open meeting law compliance check.
We are in compliance with it.
We all please stand for a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public input. We have any? Okay, we'll go on to the Belgium Area Chamber of Commerce report.
Memberships for renewal went out. So far, we have 2 new businesses I'm happy to report. We're at about 65% renewal at the moment. That's pretty normal. It's actually had a schedule I have to go. We're working on the Burge Brennan, which will take place on March 1st at the requirements. All the marketing went out for that. And the pallets are being delivered this week.
Okay.
That's about it.
Excellent. Okay, we'll move on to the village marshal reports.
Okay, for December, I issued 24 parking tickets. And over the holidays between Christmas and New Year's, I did not push the issue, I figured people got family in town and stuff, so I didn't wanna, bother people, so January 2nd, it started again, so I've been issuing those, and it also had one call for barking dogs. Neighbors complained about that, so I went over and talked to people, we got that issue resolved, and that was the only call I had all month.
Different people, different barking dog, or like the same barking dogs as always?
Well, they have 2 dogs.
Oh,
And they were fenced in their backyard, and the neighbors were complaining they left them outside too long, they're starting to bark, so. We got it taken care of.
Anything else for the marshal? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items.
I'll second.
Motions are made, seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to finished business. Action relative to closed session at village board meeting on December 9th, 2024. At that time, we agreed to move up our BPW number 3 up to the one where 1 and 2 are at, so let's keep everything equal.
That, I need more specific, like, you mean the percentage or the rate, wage, or?
The percentage increase for the year.
Okay, so you want him to go from a 4% raise to a 6%
Yes.
raise? Okay. Okay, so when you make the motion, one other thing, do you want me to back pay that to the first of the year, or just starting with the next payroll?
Well, it should be back paid to January
Okay.
1st.
So if you could include that in the motion, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move employee number 3, DPW worker number 3, from a 4.3% to a 6% increase for the year. And everything to get pushed back to January 1st.
I'll second.
Motions are made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve simplified rate case application for water rate increase as budgeted.
So during budget workshops, the Public Utilities Committee did put into the budget an increase for 3 quarters of this year, doing a simplified rate case, which we are eligible for this year. It's 4.1% increase, which comes to somewhere around a $16,000 increase in revenues. when we started the utility upgrade project several years ago, we knew we were going to be using quite a bit of our water fund balance to pay for that project. And so our fund balance has been decreasing in the water fund, and it was recommended by the auditors that we do simplified rate cases when we can to rebuild that. So that is the reason why this was put in the budget. So if the board approves it, then it will be published in the next press, and the application will be filed the end of this month, and it would become active as of March 15th, which means people would see it on their June bill.
What's that gonna mean per household, like dollars?
It's a very, let me see, I'm sorry. Didn't bring that.
Scares me. Hear me breathe.
For an average household, that estimate is less than $15 for the year.
The year?
Yeah. It's an extremely minimal increase.
Like $5.
$5, $4 per quarter,
Right,
less than $4 per quarter.
okay.
That's just water rate.
Correct, it's not sewer, this is
One
just
shot of
water.
It's just water.
I'll make a motion that the board approve the simplified rate case application for water rate increase as budgeted.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve water main loop project plans. Danny?
Yeah, last month we talked about using our fund balance or impact fees that we had left in the water fund. And that keeps me about what, maybe $42,000? 40.
Yes,
We had called Matt the next day, and we had a conference call with him, and then we told him what we were against, and we asked how we could, use that money up before we return it, so he came back with a schedule. I don't know if you guys got that in front of you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we would be able to use it all up if we go ahead with the project. We have a timeline here. You guys all have that in the. Minutes. So. Or in your handouts.
Yep.
I mean, they are gonna do, you guys approved last month to start doing the engineering and design, so. This week they're coming out to do all the topoing out on the roads and everything, and they can take that back to their office and start designing it. Looks like we could get the project sometime in August, and then we could award it in September, and they could have it done by the end of November, if you wanna go ahead and utilize our
Right,
$42,000. If not, then we would do the project in 26, and then we would have to give that 42,000 back to the developer, so.
I'll make a motion to approve water main loop project plan as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business. Purchase of Badger books and storage funds not to exceed $9,000. Lisa?
So Badger Books, it's basically laptops laptop electronic poll books. Rather than paper ones, it's all electronic.
Oh,
Yeah, so it makes the lines go a lot faster. There's less errors that can be made. The end of the night, we can get out of here a lot quicker.
mm,
It comes with, like in the picture that I showed you. It comes with little printers too, a keyboard, a mouse. So then, once they sign in, all they have to do is sign their name. And then it prints out their name and their voter number, and then they move right along. So instead of having two people look at two books at, the
Right.
same time. And then flipping through, they literally, and there's a scanner, so you can actually scan your
Scan the
ID
ID.
too. And we figured it out. I mean, let's say it's a half hour in line, it could cut it down to 10 minutes.
Yeah, right now, one person at a time can check in to the poll book. And it takes two people to check in one
One
person.
person.
This would allow 3 lines up to as many
We
as
could actually
4.
do
We could have
4.
4 because we would have. The voter registration could also check people in when they're not doing registrations.
Okay.
So it would, yeah, I mean, it will really speed things up. And it's more accurate.
And it's
It reduces
800,
errors.
right, 800 residents per poll book, Badger book. So we would get 3 of those, and then one is considered the server, like the main hub. So you have to have that one, and then we would have 3 extras.
so the
So
one,
we would have four people coming in at a time and getting them through rather than one.
Right. and then this is just for the main server code, the other one's
That's
for however. many
correct,
books.
so it comes,
Okay.
right. And so the total would be 8,349, but
That's
then.
2 of them together, the server
that's all
and the
four of
clerk.
it.
Yep, okay.
Right, so then the totes I found, and I spoke with like other clerks that, how to store, cause I wasn't sure. And they use these Stanley totes,
Okay,
and I found it on sale for 105, so I would probably get one in hopes it would fit all. If not, I would have to get a second.
sure.
Just for voting, just for them.
And like right now, voter registration, they have to come in, they have to manually fill out paperwork. There's a number of steps, and then they have to come back through the line and get checked in, and the poll book has to write everything in.
Yeah,
With Badger books, the registration is all done on the computer. And then as soon as it's done, they get their number and they
Then
can
they
go
go.
vote.
that's what I had
So,
in front of me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And there's 42 states that use it now, so and it's been around since 2017 in Wisconsin, but it started in 2009 in Iowa. So it's like really, like the first 10 years, it jumped like 60%. So it's really become the thing.
What's the other villages use?
What's that?
What's the air villages do? Cedar Grove, Woodsburg, how you got this?
A lot of them are using them now.
I'm just curious, have you talked to the people that have worked our polls traditionally in the past, or are they on board with this?
I did send them an email about it. I really haven't heard back yet, but this Wednesday I have a meeting with all of them. And we're gonna talk about, about this. And they have a class that they have to take,
Oh,
which is good for 2 years.
so it's not just.
So we're doing that as
watching
well.
the-
You're not throwing them in blind.
No.
Here, figure out how to use this.
No. And it's a 3-hour class that we have to take on top of it.
Mhm.
So I have to schedule that for all of us, this one.
And Julie had looked at this and also went to see demos with the chief inspectors
Oh, okay,
in the past. I don't know exactly what her decision, as far as why she didn't decide to move forward, but maybe it was a little bit less used at the time. I don't know what her thought process was, but
Where do we have this budgeted somewhere or?
it is not budgeted, but I will tell you, we ended our year, with last year's fund balance, we were still almost 400,000, which was 23%. So we ended very high. In addition to that, we had a very strong year that came in under budget. So I expect that we're going to be adding probably 120 to that fund balance. So we're going to be at a very, very solid fund balance. So under $10,000 is not
And
going
then-
to even have a 1% impact on our fund balance.
this will come out of the fund balance.
It would be a
okay.
fund balance allocation, yes.
Is there a program you gotta buy with this?
No, there isn't any extra fees or anything like that. There's a 5-year warranty that comes with it. And then after that, it's I think it's 150 after that 5 years. Then you would pay for the warranty
Oh.
again.
Right,
Does it
extended
update
warranty.
On its own? We pay
It
for
does,
updates?
no, we don't have to pay
Or
for updates.
subscription? Nothing?
No, no.
How many of those totes you gotta buy with it?
Well, that's why I said there was one I know for sure that can fit up to 3 of them, so I'm hoping I can get the 4th one in there. If not, I would have to buy 2.
And they're on sale right now.
Well,
I
they
mean,
do look
this is
at
good
until
too.
again, but.
The not to
You're thinking like-
exceed number has enough room to purchase two if
Right.
need be.
Okay. I'll say.
That ain't gonna be the break. No.
Is it on sale now? Get it.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the Badger book and the tote for hauling it away.
I'll second. Anything to make the line go faster.
Yes, thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, I would say. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Okay, discussion and possible action on proceeds from sale of boom truck.
So at the staff meeting that we had last week, it was discussed, we received proceeds of about a little $7,075 for the sale of the boom truck. And DPW was asking if that was going to be going into our capital projects fund or just general fund. And without action from the board, it would go into general fund. So I said I would put it on the agenda for the board to decide if you would like to allocate that back into capital projects, since that's where the money for the new one came.
Or general.
Or to
Yeah.
leave it in general fund, which would then just end up in our fund balance. So if you put it in capital projects, that's restricting it to the board having to take action to spend it out of capital projects. If it's in fund balance, the board still has to take action to spend fund balance. So it's not like you lose control either way. It's really a decision of the board to make where we assign that.
Wouldn't it make more sense to put it back into the capital?
I do think that
Okay.
makes sense, and that's
That's-
why we decided to put it on the
Yeah.
agenda, because, you know,
What do you think, Dan?
and
But-
we are,
I think we should been doing it for years, I mean. Just to help out the capital project.
Right.
Fund balance,
Yeah.
or equipment replacement.
Our fund balance is, general fund balance is fine,
It
so.
seems.
yeah, and we haven't, you know, at any time, the board can allocate additional funds to be put into capital projects also, if we have
Right.
excess. We haven't had any significant sales
Mhm.
of late, of equipment, but now with the new 2 pieces that we just ordered, we're going to have some more coming in. So at finance and personnel, I don't know if we have it on the agenda yet, but it might be a good thing for the committee to talk about whether or not we want to have some sort of policy or guidance going forward regarding that. But for now, I just figured since we have the proceeds and because it's at the end of the, you know, it came in last
Yep.
year, so if I make a change before audit and financial
You need to
reports
do
are
it now.
finalized, I need to do it now, so.
Okay, I'll make a motion to put the proceeds of the boom truck into the capital fund.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Recognize Sherry Erickson for 15 years of employment with the Village of Belgium.
Sherry couldn't be here tonight, but
Well, thank you, Sherry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sherry.
thank you.
You're watching this.
She's gonna hear it.
Yeah.
She's gonna hear us.
Number 4, approved purchasing 2013 dump truck from Wisconsin Surplus.
Okay, this just came up, you know, Brian was just checking on Wisconsin surplus over the weekend and he seen it. We have a plow truck coming due in 2030. Expecting the cost from $250,000 to $300,000. So this one is a 2013 City of Pewaukee. It's It's just what we want, it's bow, wing, salter, stainless steel box. And then we just thought, well, maybe it's time, maybe we should just look at that versus buying new, I mean,
Right,
we gained probably 8 years, right, Vicky, we were thinking?
Yeah, if we were to use the same replacement schedule that we currently have on our 2005, that would be a 25-year replacement, so this would push us out 8 years at considerably less than,
We did some checking and you know what trucks are going for in like 2012, 2013. One is going for with 127,000 miles, it's $90,000, that's no salt, you know, no salter on it.
Mm.
Then we found one with 36,000 miles, same year. At 79,000 miles. No, 79,000 miles, 36,000 miles. And there was no wing on it. So right now, this one, Wisconsin surplus, it's at 27, it goes until next week, Monday. So we're just looking, you know. If we could go ahead and look at it once and see
Yeah.
if we can put a bid in it, I mean,
So that's what they're up to right now, 27,000,
yeah,
so it's probably gonna go much higher.
I would say between 40 and 50, probably we'll go for it.
But what's the highest we wanna pay for?
Well, that's.
that's what we're here for.
Well,
do you
we're
think?
buying it.
Cap it.
I mean, it's gonna be half as late in 2013, so if we keep 30 years, so you got half in there already, you know, half used up.
Right,
So. He.
but
we
new, you
look at
said
it first, I
is,
don't know, you can go up to like 75, 80,000.
new is, you said like over 200,
250 to 300 by the time you're. 2030.
yeah,
and I will tell you that right now, we have enough in our fund to cover the next 4 years and half of the truck in 2030, so that we have all of the next 4 years plus 150,000 toward the boom truck in 2030.
2030,
So spending this money now is not going to
right,
have a negative impact on our capital.
And we're gonna have two pieces of equipment going up on Wisconsin surplus here.
Sure.
This year, we have the chipper, we're expecting to get between 10 and 15.
Oh.
And then we have, the sweeper,
oh,
and we're probably expecting 25 to 30, so if we get all that, then we got over at half paid for already.
right,
Without touching none of the capital, you know, with the sale of the equipment.
is this just a salter, only can be used for a salter?
So we gotta look at, it's a box
I mean,
and
I was just looking at the back, it's got the salting tube coming out the back.
it's either back or side, it's a gravity feed box, you know, just comes in the middle and then just goes on the belt and drops on the
It's a
salt.
chain that runs.
Yeah,
Brings the
so we
load.
don't know if we could use that box, we probably put a plate in there or something over it that we can use the box year round. I mean, we have two other dump trucks that we can use year round too, you know.
Right.
They're hauling gravel or doing stuff.
So what would you get rid of?
Which truck?
Yeah,
Well, the 2005 Peterbilt, which is supposed to be scheduled to replace it. And we bought theirs, I think in 2007 or 8, we paid 80,000 for that back then, so.
we got our money's worth.
Here's the thing, it's got DEF fluid.
I don't know, we didn't go look at it and then,
I'm for all this, but I think we gotta do a lot of homework before you go.
well, yeah,
I mean, like, you got DEF fluid, you gotta chuck out 10 years like this now, and the salt gets in everywhere and check engine lights, do we have, what do you call it? The computer, the hardware to get in there and find out what was wrong? I think there's a lot of with the truck before we even look at the truck. I mean, is that a good motor? I
What?
mean, is that a good motor? Is Pack car motor?
but
I don't know.
Scott, Brian went over by Lumber Garage, but they were close today for some reason, he was gonna ask about the motor and.
I mean, I wish you guys would call our shop foreman, Scooter, and talk to him about plow trucks and, cause he says all this DEF fluid in first years that came out. That always don't work.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, I would say we better do a lot of homework because. We have Freightliners Internationals, City of Port, they go to Max, cause Grafton had that. I mean, who around's got Peterbilts that
Oh,
can
yeah.
help, like.
We were just
Yeah.
at a show, one day show there in the city of Pewaukee. In their shop there, they had like 13 to 15 Peterbilts all lined up. So they must just use a I think there's a
Peterbilt's right down the road.
Yeah,
So I think Peterbilt is a well-built truck, I mean.
Oh, sure, but when you get into the motors and
Do we have 11-foot moldboards on all the trucks here or is 12 still?
Well, the one we have one of 10.
Oh, we only have 10?
We
Okay, I
have
didn't
the
know we had
Freightliner
12.
10, the Sterling's 11 or
Okay.
12, and Case Looper is a 12.
Just, I think we really, before you jump in and buy it, all of a sudden. we
Oh,
got
like I said, I
Maintenance
mean,
nightmares on
we
it.
don't wanna go waste a couple hours to go down there and look at it if we can't go ahead and do it, so then.
Right,
I mean,
Yeah.
it looks nice, but under the hood, check engine light, then they shut the truck shut down. I'm telling you, I hear it on her radio at work all the time, and it's the newer stuff. Like the newer depth fluid trucks, I was talking to our shop foreman, seems to work better, but when this all came out, 2011, 12 and 13.
Yeah,
It's,
like I said, I don't know what they say on the specs, if it has depth fluid or not. but-
Yeah,
It
I
does, I'm sure it does, and then just say we do. You gotta look into, how can Brian help himself working on it? Probably can't. We don't have the software
Yeah,
for it at
just
our
saying, if
work,
we buy a new truck too, that's gonna be the same way, with depth fluid, right?
but I guess it's nice to stay with everybody's got in the surrounding areas, I
Yeah.
think, so.
Yeah.
Everybody learns from everybody, everybody can help
Sure.
out a little bit. Like I say,
Yeah.
City of Port is going to what Grafton does and. Oh, trust me.
So what do we think? Do we think we,
Gotta do a lot of homework here before you throw anything in. There might be a reason why it's a little on the low side at this point yet.
Yeah, well, it's a week away, you know.
It's a week
weekend.
away,
Yeah.
it'll go up, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's why,
Peter built.
we
a
don't
good
have to
truck.
throw it in until Monday
Sure.
morning, you know.
Yeah.
So who is the final authority on like, yes, we go forward with this, like, let's say we do all the homework and who's the final
Well, if you give.
person
give
or
us
person that say,
authority to do
yes,
it,
this
then
makes sense to
Yeah.
move
Probably
forward?
falls on me.
I always, when you go look at stuff, we all like the good things. I say, what don't you guys like about it? And if you can overcome that and deal with it here, that's one thing.
No.
You know, and hopefully they tell you, not
Right.
that they know something's coming up with this truck in the next 6
Yeah.
months.
yeah, what is their reasoning for
But
selling it?
But that's why we have a call into the city, to their shop,
Mhm.
Oh,
or
okay.
whoever. And we're gonna ask them why, you know, like I said, they had about 13 or 15 Peterbilts all running down the wall, they look like
Yeah.
all brand new. So we're gonna ask them why they like Peterbilt versus that one, and I'm sure one reason is gonna be because they're just down the road.
Yeah,
And maybe that's all they ran, and if they had
Yeah.
a lot of problems.
Well, I don't know if it's specifically necessary that I know this, but for those of us who are not mechanically inclined, what is depth?
It's something with new emissions you gotta
Yeah.
add to it and everything. for-
Okay.
helps clean the exhaust for,
Yeah.
goes out of the truck.
Okay, just so that I'm kind of on board with what.
Like, is this an extra oil?
When that
Trying to
stuff
figure it
don't
out
work,
over
it
here.
don't, it all depends, it looks like you
Yeah.
kept it clean, but we're learning that work, we gotta wash these trucks underneath. Because it'll just rot everything from the bottom up, and it costs tons of money. To just fix
Yeah.
these depth fluid systems to keep the truck running. It's. I'm not a mechanic, but you just learn a lot as you go here over the years.
So,
And
And we're
Danny,
gonna-
do we have any vehicles currently that
We have
are in
two,
this?
two vehicles with depth fluid, we have,
And what has been your experience with
we
them?
never had a problem yet, we have our backhoe, it was a 2018 that has depth. Then we have a Freightliner with 2015 that has depth. No, we don't run ours as much as the county or bigger communities. do.
Right.
So,
But any new vehicle is
Has
going to have, it because it's a new standard that
I mean,
started back around.
You're getting into 10 years now, that's
Yeah,
when all
right.
the crap stuff.
yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
gotta take into consideration, I mean.
The big thing is the service end of it. You got problems, you're gonna hoof that thing way down there all the time. Like now, Brian can work on the stuff you got now, but when you get into this. I'm for it, but you better have a big plan.
so if you find everything that you want and looks good, what are we gonna set for a limit? What's the top we're gonna
What do you,
spend for this truck?
I mean, what do you think is a fair price? Like, is 50?
Well, we were talking today in the shop, we thought maybe not more than 80.
I think that's fair.
You guys have time this week to go look at it?
Yeah,
We'll make
We'll make
time.
time for that.
You'll make time.
See, they can show you service records, like anybody comes by us,
Yeah.
you got full service records on all the equipment, what happened.
I mean, I don't think we have any snowstorms
I
coming.
mean, the whole Salter system, that's what we got, that's the newest updated thing.
I mean, if you go 100,000, then you're getting, you know, that you have.
Then you're
Yeah.
happy.
You're better off
Yeah.
waiting 5
I-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spending 250 and then you
Right.
get, you know, no problem.
right.
I see it's got a pre-wet system.
That's the grind system, we had them on the other
Yeah.
two trucks.
We have just one other truck.
Two.
Oh,
And how much is a new one right now?
Well, right now, we got in our capital
Yeah.
plan 204, but
I bet you.
2030, it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was
250,
thinking.
And it's
Yep.
gonna take 2 years to get.
Yep,
I bet you
Yep.
you're at 250 now, only for a 5 yard.
So we'd have to order it in 28,
Right.
get it in 30.
Well, I think I'll make the motion to approve, you guys put a bid on it, no more than 80,000, contingent upon you guys going to take a look at it and trusting Danny to make the final decision of if it's a good purchase.
You guys,
Wait.
President will know or somebody will know. what-
Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
Did I say that?
Motion's been made seconded. Any more discussion on this? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.